Good morning and welcome. This is our press conference for PulsePoint. This is our introduction of PulsePoint to the Verdugo Fire Communications System in Area C. We have on hand a number of dignitaries and city council members. We'd like to introduce them, but I'd like to introduce our Area C coordinator, Tom Linehan, Burbank Fire Chief, to start us off.
As Don said, I'm Tom Linehan. I'm the fire chief for the city of Burbank. I also serve as the Area C coordinator here within our region, and I'll explain that a little bit more in a moment. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce our dignitaries that are with us today. Glendale Mayor Paula Devine, Council Member Vartan Garpetian, and Council Member Zari Sinanyan. And then I'd also like to thank all the fire chiefs and their staff that are in attendance today within Area C, because Don is going to get up in a moment and speak more about the PulsePoint application, but what a valuable life-saving application this is going to be, and we're going to be in complete collaboration within all the jurisdictions within Area C. So, as I promised, you know, Verdugo Fire Communications Center is integral in us utilizing this application. And within California, we have a master mutual aid system. The master mutual aid system is in place for when there's emergencies or disasters or large wildfires. It consists of 6 regions, and within each region there are areas. So down here in Southern Cal, or within Glendale, Burbank, Pasadena, we are in Region 1 and we're in Area C. Area C consists of 14 fire departments, and within those 14 fire departments, we have 48 fire stations, over 150 fire apparatus, and we serve a population of over 800,000. And we utilize a unified response system that Verdugo Fire Communications employs on a daily basis, so that we basically have seamless, borderless collaboration over jurisdictional boundaries. So this application, this PulsePoint application, will serve us well and really improve response times and improve the efficiency and the effectiveness that we represent and how we serve our communities. Without getting too far into what PulsePoint does, I am going to ask Don to come back up and explain the details of the application. So thanks again for being here.
As Chief Linehan noted, we have an excellent emergency response system, and we have an excellent 911 system as well. It's the most modern 911 system actually in Los Angeles County, because we just migrated to a next-gen 911 system. And all of our first responders are dispatched out of this fire station, and our 911 center is actually located on top of this fire station on the 3rd floor. But as Tom noted, we have a problem across the nation in our local communities, and that is SCA, also known as sudden cardiac arrest. Over 132,000 people each year die of sudden cardiac arrest. That's about 1,000 people per day. And what's unfortunate is that the life survival rate is less than 8% for those folks. So we have this excellent 911 system, we have this excellent emergency response system. What's missing? We're missing earlier intervention by our bystanders, and that's where the PulsePoint app really comes into play. So it's really, really simple. The more that we get bystander involvement with using the PulsePoint app, the earlier we can get CPR or automatic external defibrillation started for these folks that are having sudden cardiac arrest. And that's huge. Many of our victims can survive if treated more immediately with CPR instruction. And what's amazing about the app itself is that you can follow any of the 14 fire agencies that we dispatch for, singly or all of them combined. You can get alerts. And if there is a person that is not breathing and that is a sudden cardiac arrest, you'll receive an alert identifying how close you are to that individual and whether or not you can respond. And that's really the main goal here, is we want to reduce the amount of mortality with sudden cardiac arrest. We want to increase survivability. And if we can get bystander involvement by using the PulsePoint app to go forward and respond, even more the better. So that's really the ultimate goal here, is that it's our hope that bystanders receiving the alert will respond to the location and start early CPR. Or using an AED. And if there's an automatic external defibrillator nearby, the app will actually tell you whether or not you're close by to one and that you could use one. So it's very comprehensive. It works on both the iPhone and the Android device. It also, if you have concern about not being CPR trained, it actually has the instructions in the app which will guide you in how to do CPR instruction until the first responders get there. And then they will take over and they will start doing their professional services. So that's important. And then I know one of the questions often comes up out of this type of a situation is, well, am I expected to go to respond to somebody's home? Well, no, we don't want you to do that. The app is designed for sudden cardiac alerts to be at public locations, such as the Glendale Galleria Mall, the library, the park, the courthouse, city hall, civic areas such as this. So, yeah, we don't want folks responding to person's residential home, showing up and saying, okay, I'm going to start CPR. That's not going to happen. But the alert will tell you if you're nearby at a civic location and to get CPR started as quickly as possible. So that being what it is, and that being said, I'd like to now introduce Dr. Angelica Lomez, and she's going to talk a little bit more about the value of CPR.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today in celebrating PulsePoint application AEDs. As mentioned prior, it's very important to get hands-on chest compressions on patients with out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. And in addition, early defibrillation is also key. Currently, in the United States, we get to see about 45% of bystander citizen CPR, and that honestly is not good enough, right? So we can do better as a nation. And actually, we are doing better here locally. I'm proud to say that here at Verdugo Fire Communications Center, we are identifying cardiac arrest earlier than ever. We are providing online, or what we call telephone CPR, hands-only chest compressions. Our dispatchers are trained to identify this early and quickly. And they stay on the phone with the patient, or the caller rather, to provide high-quality chest compressions. And the instructions are very easy, very fast, to push fast and push hard. And in a high stressful situation, that's very important to stay focused. And they stay on the phone with the caller until paramedics arrive. And so what we are doing here in our 911 dispatch center is really cutting edge. We are one of the first 911 centers that is doing hands-only chest compression. So I oftentimes in the emergency department here, they advise me to do chest compressions, but my dad pushed me away, and that's what I want to hear. I want to hear that we attempted chest compressions on someone who seemed like they were in cardiac arrest, and that's great. So we are initiating the chain of survival here for out-of-hospital cardiac arrest early. There are 5 steps that need to be in sequence for improved patient survivability. And the first step is to educate the community on chest compressions and early defibrillation. So when someone goes down as what we call an unconscious, we are able to recognize cardiac arrest earlier than ever, and they activate the 911 system. So that's step 1. Step number 2 is chest compressions or early CPR. Again, push hard, push fast, and hands only is really as efficient as what we once thought CPR could be. Number 3 is defibrillation, and this is where PulsePoint AED is very important to locate it quickly and most efficient. And step 4 is ALS, or advanced life support, is what we call our paramedics. Area C has a phenomenal group of paramedics. I'm very proud to be the medical director here for Verdugo Fire Communications, and we do an excellent job at patient survivability. Step 5 is the post-cardiac arrest resuscitation, and that can either be done by our paramedics, which again do a fantastic job, and or the hospital. And so at the hospital we provide what we call induced hypothermia, and then also catheterization interventions for needed interventions. So as a whole, I feel like we're doing great here in Area C with community education, with our paramedics are fantastic and cutting edge, our 911 caller system that we have here, and then also our local community hospitals. We can really serve as a role model for the rest of the nation to follow. And so thank you for listening.
Really, our message today is to get bystanders out there to take advantage of the app, download the app, and start using it. It really is very simple to get a map to show you where all the incidents are occurring. And there's also great community engagement with this app aside from CPR and AED and cardiac arrest alerts. You can actually get a full listing of each of the agencies and what events they're responding on locally. And it'll be not the actual address, because we want to do protection for the patients. We don't want to give that information away, but it will be the nearest intersection. So if you hear sirens going by in your neighborhood, you'll be able to not only look and see what's going on, but potentially what the nature of the emergency is in a very generalized manner. So it does a number of things for us. That being said, download the app, take advantage of it. If you do get an alert, respond to it if you can, safely. We would appreciate the bystander engagement with use of PulsePoint and increasing our survivability rate for sudden cardiac arrest in our communities. That's hugely important. At this point, I'd like to see if whether or not the City Council members or Mayor Devine would like to step up and have a few words.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here this morning, and I have to say it was a pleasure to meet the fire chiefs from all the different communities that are involved in this program. You know, the biggest aim here is to save lives, and I thank all of you for the collaboration and the hard work that you've put into getting this system and the app on its way. I would also like to thank and mention that there will be community members that are involved in this. And the bottom line is to save lives. And I'm so proud that we are setting a standard for the nation. And that is something to be very, very proud of. And I thank all of you. I thank our fire department and all the fire departments that are involved in this program. And thank you all for being here. Appreciate it.
So thank you very much for attending today. I know that you all have very busy schedules, and I appreciate your time here, especially to all of our dignitaries and our fire chiefs. Thank you very much.